This is page 9, Senior Region Set III Saxophone. This is a slow practice video, the first half. Metronome is set at 92, and that's the 8th note. 1, and play, and. Now, don't get frustrated if you couldn't play through some of those passages even at that tempo. What you need to do is break it down into smaller sections. So let's just look at the first line. In this you have the, we'll just go by lines. The top line be 1, then 2, 3, 4, like that when we talk about it. So the first line, just the first measure to the first note of the second measure. Play it a few times. And then you don't even have to play that tied note to practice it. You can start right on the 16th. Then do the second measure up to the high D on count 4. Then go back to the first measure and put them together, leaving out the tied note. Now, one thing I didn't like about my playing of that was it was uneven. One way to even it up is to swing it first. Then reverse swing it. Then go back and see if it evens it up. I don't know why that works, but it does, and it's worth it. Now I would look at the second line, starting on that high F. Take the pickups into it off of count 4 on that high D coming into it. 3, 4. A few times in a row, and then put it together. Just down to the second measure of the second line. And if you can't play that at that tempo, then put it slower. You can also swing this and reverse swing that several times as well. It's really amazing your muscle memory. Even if you practice slowly, you can speed things up much quicker than if you try to learn them fast and incorrect. We've heard so many students come through the audition room and try to play this thing at a blazingly fast speed, and their score not be as high as the person that comes in and plays it at the minimum of 80 beats per minute, but very, very clean with correct articulation and evenness all the way through. On the third line, you have all the C sharps and the B sharps, all these patterns through here. Isolate that. over and over, just going up through the octaves through there. The fourth line. Maybe you miss a note like that. Well, what do you need to do? That's right, slow it down. Do that a few times in a row. And if you isolate this into different sections and practice it that way, you'll be much more successful at it. And don't worry about going too slow right now. You can't go too slow. You need to slow it down. Look at the fourth line, second measure. Play that measure a few times very, very slowly and just gradually speed it up. You can just take your metronome and click it up a couple of clicks at a time. The fifth line down, you've got some kind of crazy arpeggios going through here. You want to get all the right notes. Now you look at the next arpeggio starting on the G. On that one, you want to use what we call bis B flat. If I can get it here in the camera for you. This little bitty key right here below the B key is called the bis key. You operate it with your index finger. It's another fingering for B flat instead of the traditional 1, 2, and side here. So you're coming down off of D, B flat, much easier to operate, and down to G. Now we're on the fifth line, we're on the second measure on the C sharp. I would also use the bis B flat through that particular arpeggio passage. Then the last one, the D minor arpeggio. It's painstakingly slow, it's tedious, but if you'll do that, swing it, reverse swing it, play it super slow, and isolate, you'll be successful on this particular section.